What's good, everybody? I hope everybody is doing well, fine, and fantastic. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I am going to an event, and I thought I was going to be able to get there in time enough to park for a little bit and do this because I know nobody likes to see me driving. However, that's not working out too well because you guessed it, stuck in traffic here behind some slow poles. So anyway, let me get to it so that way I can finish this up. I want to ask the question, are you equally yoked? Are you equally yoked? This is a biblical term for all you Bible scholars out there. For all you Bible scholars out there, it's a biblical term. And, I grew up in church, obviously. So using these certain type of biblical references and analogies and all that is second nature to me. And in all honesty, I like them. I just, before I hit the record button for this, I was talking to another friend of mine. We were having a discussion about some other stuff. He's still very much into faith, where I no longer attend church. So, but, we had a good, actually, he's texting me now, so we're still having a good discussion about that. So I'll finish that up another time. So anyway, I want to get into this. Are you equally yoked? And talking about the mating and dating game, right? This becomes an issue. And I've seen this. I want to do this because I saw, some other posts where people were talking about their being equally yoked, and other people telling them they don't know what they're talking about and all this kind of stuff. Listen, the term equally yoked, I'm sure that you all will know, but it's a term in which, it's a farming, husbandry type of term, talking about the process of sticking this long wooden yoke around an ox's neck or some other animal, beast of burden, and then driving that animal along with tied to another animal, at least, to perform the farm work. And to be unequally yoked means that you have to really be going in the same place, the same pace, at the same time, right? So what also is heavily talked about is the fact that you need to be as strong as the other animal that you're linked to. And that animal needs to be as strong as the other animal. So they need to be, you can't put some, I don't know, the poundages of animals. Let's just say it's a 1,500 pound ox. Again, I don't know for sure, and it's very strong and muscular and can get the job done. And you're going to tie him to one that's 500 pounds, emaciated, sickly, right? Then the larger ox is obviously going to be doing all of the work. So you don't want to do that kind of thing. So you want to be equally yoked. Put two 500 pound oxes together, put two 1,500 pound oxen together. So that's what you have to do. So in the mating and dating world, right, you have to think along the same lines. And this is why I think that a lot of people, in particular ladies, are saying, listen, I don't want anybody who's lesser than me, because I want somebody who's got some drive, some oomph, and knows where they're going and how they're going to get there and where the place is at and all this stuff, right? Whereas men a lot of times may or may not be looking for the same type of duties, but they still want somebody who's just as strong. When we talk about don't lead with your education and stuff, for the ladies, don't lead with that. It doesn't mean we don't want necessarily an uneducated woman. I keep having to address this in my own comment section. I don't think I've ever said that we want somebody who can't read and do whatever. But it's about personality. We want, certainly, you should have competence. If I'm sick, you can't. If I'm sick and laid up for a week or two, you got to be able to pay bills. You got to be able to get the job done. You can't. I don't want to parent anybody. So yeah, we don't want that type of thing. Certainly, we want somebody who, I certainly would want somebody, and I think a prudent person would want somebody who can say, listen, things are down. I need you to go ahead and knock this out for a little bit. Go back to school, put your education that you put on a shelf, dust it off, and let's get this thing done, so we can live the way that we are used to living, whatever. Or if I'm doing all the work, then I need somebody who's going to balance that out and pull your equal amount of weight. And that means that you are doing what you need to do around the home. It's a balance. So, and also I want to talk about this 50-50 thing one more time, and I'd say loudly and clearly that if your woman has to work for you all to make it to live, whatever that means for you, whatever type of life you all are living, if your woman is working, then you as a man should be doing your part to help out with the household chores and all that. When we take a look at the marriage divorce surveys about why ladies file for divorce, 60, 70, 80% of the time it's because they feel unhappy, and part of that unhappiness is that they feel unsupported. And they feel unsupported because they feel as if they got to do all the work around the home. Okay. Address that again. So are you equally yoked? Are you pulling your fair share? Are you doing your job? And one of the difficulties particularly in older people, I'm finding this out, putting this all together. If you don't know, I got my relationship coach certification. So putting this all together, the reason that I think that it's so difficult when you're a little bit older, 40 plus, to get a mate is because you become so settled in your ways, that you don't want to change. So, for example, maybe you work out all the time. I mean, and you need somebody who's going to motivate you to stay in shape, to get in shape, stay in shape, and to do what you all need to do. And you don't need to come home from the gym and then see somebody who is not working out and they got fried chicken cooked for you to eat, or to go into Popeyes or eat McDonald's, some fast food, because you're on a regimen. You got to be eating the same foods. You got to be watching the same type of shows, not all the time. The same type of music. This is the same thing that brought up in the whole interracial dating thing. Not that I'm against it on a racial perspective. I'm just talking about culture and what you like type of thing. So you gotta be into all those types of things, or at least be open to exploring. And the other person has to be just as equally open to exploring those types of things. So those are all things you got to think about. Chris Rock said in one of his older specials, I can't remember if it was Bigger and Blacker or Blacker and Deafer or whatever, one of the ones he did. If you smoke crack, you need a woman. Your woman got to smoke crack too, right? This is why people, the best time that they continue to say to find somebody to mate with and partner with is when you're in college, because that person is educated. That person is going places. That you're never gonna be around a group of men who are gonna be on your level again. And so that's the best time to do it. And if you're not gonna do that, if you are a little bit older, then you gotta take some extra steps to find that guy or find that woman. You got to go to events like I'm going to now. I'm going to a college thing, talk about the election. I don't know when I'm going to release this, but that's where I'm going now. A bunch of educated people, a bunch of eggheads there. Educated people. I get to say eggheads because I'm one of them. So, or you got to go to political events, or you got to go to places where you got to go to a bar where people are watching football, the things that you're into, or take a cooking class, or dance, Zumba class, or what, salsa, merengue dancing and stuff. You gotta do that kind of thing. Man, this place is packed. What's up with this? All right, so let me finish this up here. So I had to stop and talk to this guy. Let me into school here. So what's gonna happen? Are you equally yoked with this person? Do you like the same things? Are you going to the same places? As Chris Rock said, you got to be able to do the same things, man. And if you're not into the same things, you're into, horror movies, and somebody else is into, opera and theater, and it's just not meshing, right? You're unequally yoked. So you got to make sure that you're unequally yoked. You got to try to eat the same type of foods. Particularly, you got to be on the same type of diet, right? I try, and there has to be exceptions to this, right? But I can't, because of the way that I eat. I could not be with someone. I could not be with someone who is going to eat a bunch of garbage all the time. I just couldn't do it, because it's in the house, so it's going to be tough. And it's tougher the older you get, the more difficult it's going to be. I ordered something from Amazon. I can't get it open. So I just want to kind of drop that for a minute here and just have you think about that. Just work on making sure that you're on the same level, same plane, going the same place, and have the same amount of strength. Nobody wants to carry anybody else. I think it's probably a little more tolerable. It's a little bit more tolerable for a man to carry a woman, being the leader and all these other things we always talk about. However, there's got to come to a point where I need you to be competent. There has to come a point where I need you to be competent in order to do certain things. And that's why, for me, like I couldn't date I watched the video the other day. If I can find it, I'll include it in here. Matter of fact, I will put it in here. This 25-year-old girl was complaining she went on a date with a 45-year-old guy. And of course, the guy sounds like more of a red pill type of guy where he's just like, I'm not going to deal with this kind of stuff, and just kind of ended the date abruptly. However, I couldn't be with a 25-year-old. I couldn't. What are we talking about? What are we doing? You don't know anything about life, and you'd have to really, really be impressing me as far as what you know at 25 years old. I won't even look at you like that.
Not believe what just fucking happened to me on this date. I'm gonna have to call y'all when I get in the car. Yeah, what he talking about? Okay, so I'm back in the crib. Y'all would not believe what just happened. Like, I literally went on a date with a guy, and let's just say, mind you, he's sitting right next to me. I ordered what I want. He didn't want to order anything because he ate, so he just ordered a drink. I ordered what I wanted, and he hears it clearly because he's right next to me. The food comes, he started making all these comments. Oh, you ordered that? Oh, you gonna eat all that? Mind you, I told him that my friend flew into town and that after dinner I was gonna go see her because she wanted me to pull up on her or whatever. He's like, did you order some food for your friend? He was like, if I wasn't here, would you order all that? Baby, you think I can't afford a meal? I said, honestly, if you wasn't here, I would have still ordered like this. This is how I eat with my friends. This is how I eat when I'm by myself. Crazy. But the kicker is, this man said, oh, I'm gonna go. I said, okay. He lays down $100, walks off. Mind you, he called us a black truck to dinner. So I rode with him in an Uber. He left. He didn't say anything besides I'm gonna go, and then set the money down and then dipped off. He didn't ask if I needed a ride, how was I gonna get home. He didn't ask what the bill was, nothing. Mind you, this is a 45-year-old man, grown ass Nigerian man. I said, honestly, if you was actually, let's talk about it. Let me put the light on. Let's actually talk about it, okay? I ordered my drink. He ordered his drink. I ordered a half a dozen oysters. I want to say maybe that's around like $15 to $18, I think. We were at Eddie V's. I can't remember how much. That's normally how much it would be. After that, he said that he wasn't hungry. He didn't want to eat. I ordered an entree. I ordered lamb chops. Mind you, prior to this date, I told him that I wanted steak. Like I said, I was in the mood for like steak and like asparagus, mac and cheese. Like I was saying all this. So it's not nothing that was just, I ordered lamb chops, mac and cheese, Brussels sprouts, and crab fried rice. Half sizes. Actually, let's talk about it.
In the long-term relationship type of way. So that to me is a no-go. At 51, like the youngest I would go is 38, 39, 38, 39, 40, somewhere around there. And you still got to be some level of mature, right? So, and be able to handle things, so so I'm asking you the question: are you equally yoked? Are you going to the same places? Are you thinking the same? Do you want to have a long-term goal? Do you have a place you want to get to? And it's harder as you get older. It's harder. So you really got to think about that. You really got to think about that and really try to flesh out, where you want to go, where you want to be, and how you're going to get there. And is this person aiding, helping you in your drive to get there, right? That's what the yoke was, aiding and helping you plow this field. Are you aiding me, helping me plow this field? Do you spend up all the money faster than I can make it? Are you disciplined with your money? Do you have a bunch of credit card debt? What is it that you're doing? What is it you got to have all these type of things. What is your parenting styles? Right? You got to think about all these different types of things. And it just gets harder as you get older. It only gets harder as you get older. So you got to think about it and what you want. And this is the frustration I think a lot of people are having. It's like, man, I can't find anybody on my level who's this and who's that, and then you want them to be healthy and all this kind of stuff. So, listen, man. Listen, it's rough out here. It's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here for a pimp. So I just want to drop that for a minute, as I'm thinking about this in a biblical context because of my friend that I was having a conversation with. I'm driving up to this school here to talk about stuff. And I just know that it's just difficult. It's difficult to find somebody who's on your level, particularly when you're older, 40 years old. You got your quirks, you got your ways about you. You don't know which way is up. You don't know, what people are thinking, dealing with trauma and all this kind of stuff. And once you deal with somebody who's somewhat fit and all the other things that you're looking for physically, are they on your level? Are they willing to change? Are they willing to adjust? Are they willing to is a 40-year-old woman going to get on your program? Is a 40-year-old guy going to get on your program, right? Everybody wants somebody else to get on their program. Are we going to create a program together? And this is all stuff. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. So, all right. I'm on a ramble. Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, and ask yourself, are you equally yoked? If you're in a relationship, are you equally yoked? Are you pulling your weight, and are they pulling their weight? And if not, what can you do to get them to pull their weight? Do they have the capacity to pull their weight? That's another thing too. You gotta, in order for both of the oxen in this particular case to pull their weight, they gotta be nourished, well taken care of, well fed, etc. And you got to give them time and rest in order to get to the place where they can equally pull their weight. And you have to ask yourself, does your mate, your potential mate, have the ability to pull the weight in order that you need it to be? You got to ask yourself that. And sometimes people have it, and sometimes people don't. And the people who don't have it, you just got to let them go. Just got to let them go. Got to let them go. All right? That's it. Much love and peace.